Here we go. All right, so for Christmas, I got a membership to the Minnesota Zoo. Has anybody here ever been to the Minnesota Zoo before? Yeah, so when you walk in, for those of you that haven't been to the zoo, there's a large bronze buffalo statue. And I was walking in, and there was this dad with his daughter, and the daughter said to him, Daddy, do they have those at the zoo? And the dad goes, oh no, honey, those went extinct during the Ice Age. Boy, are they in for a surprise. So my favorite thing to do at the Minnesota Zoo is walk into a crowd with my family and say loudly to my kids, wow, there's a lot of people here. Man, this place is a zoo. So my hometown, just outside of Detroit, actually has their own zoo too, believe it or not. It's actually a petting zoo, but they only have one dog. Yeah, it's a Shih Tzu. That's the breed of dog. If you thought bad, that's on you. So, in my opinion, to call yourself a zoo, you have to have at least a grizzly bear and maybe a polar bear. That's the bare minimum. Did you all know if you put socks and shoes on a grizzly, it still has bare feet? I just saw somebody lean over his wife and go, these are unbearable. Don't worry, I'm almost done with animal puns. Bear with me. So I got a phone call from my neighbor the other day. He goes, hey, Chris, I was going through your recycle bin, and I noticed you still get the newspaper. Can you save them for me? Isn't that crazy? Can you believe that? Somebody that still gets the newspaper. So I still get the paper. I read it a lot. My favorite section is the finance section, even though I'm pretty good with my finances. But you don't have to take my word for it. Last year I got a letter from the IRS that my tax return was outstanding. And I don't even remember filing it. So I was reading in the finance section, the best way to accumulate wealth is to skip the daily Starbucks. Skip the daily Starbucks to accumulate wealth. And ladies and gentlemen, I have bought into this, and I am on track to being the next Elon Musk. I've only got 73 billion days to go. So a year ago when I was telling this joke, it was only 34 billion days to go. So in a year, it's changed a lot. So can you guys believe in a year how much a cup of coffee has gone down? Also in the news, President Trump is going after DEI initiatives. And so at work, we've changed the name of our DEI committee to the Justice, Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion Council. Yep, we're Jedi now. And so I think we're pretty safe. I don't think he's going to go after Star Wars fans. I mean, this is the guy that created the Space Force. But if he does cut our committee, true Star Wars fans know, if you strike down a Jedi, we will become more powerful than you can possibly imagine. That's a movie quote for the nerds in the room. So I went to a new barber the other day, old-timey barber, cash-only kind of thing, where they shave the back of your neck with a razor afterwards. And as I'm sitting in the barber chair, he says to me, you know, I can tell a lot about somebody by the way their hair grows. For example, if you've got a receding hairline, it means you're a thinker. And if you're going bald on top, it means you're probably good looking. I said, hey, so what does my hair say about me? And he said, this head on this hair on this head, you think you're good looking. So afterwards, he shows me the back of my head with the mirror and goes, what do you think? And I said, yeah, I think I look pretty good. And he goes, yeah, you look different. And different is not what you want to hear from somebody whose job it is to make you look better. Also, different is not a compliment. If you don't believe me, next time your wife asks how she looks in a dress, tell her she looks different. So I said to him, you could at least tell me I look good. And he said to me, yeah, mister, you can take your gay stuff elsewhere. And so I don't ask for compliments anymore, but I still get my hair cut there. So you guys are in for a treat tonight, because in addition to comedy, I also do magic tricks. So the other day before breakfast, I was showing my kids this trick where I could take a coin and make it disappear, and then have the coin reappear behind their ears. And my kids did not react. I said, come on, kids, this is an amazing trick. Aren't you impressed? And my oldest kid goes, I would be more impressed if you just made pancakes appear. So I'm going to break a rule of magic and give you guys a hint as to how that trick is done. Up my sleeve, I've got nothing. And if you can't read this in the back, you've missed nothing. And now that I've got a prop, we can have fun with it. I can hold it here, and now I'm next to nothing. I can take nothing and crumple it up. And I can throw it here. And I can say nothing gets by you. And you can take that home with you, and you will have left with nothing. So I take my kids to I've got 3 kids now, and I've noticed a big difference between the first kid and the third kid. With the first kid, when you have them, you're real protective of them. You want to keep them safe, protected from everything. Now that I had the third kid, whenever anybody smiles at him, I'm like, here you go, I'll be back in 20 minutes. So my youngest son has discovered the sandbox we keep in the living room. He likes to play around in there. And this was off limits for the first 2 kids, but this is my third kid, so I'm cool with it, and my wife doesn't mind either. The only one that minds is the cat when he has to poop. I send my kids to Spanish Immersion Academy. I send them to Spanish Academy because I thought that would better prepare them for middle-class white privilege. So they go to Spanish school. I don't speak Spanish, and my kids' teachers don't speak English, but they do take great care of my kids. So I'm always telling them, mucho, 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 because I know it means a lot to them. So I went on a road trip with my kids, just my kids and me, and they wanted to listen to Spanish songs in the car, Spanish kids songs. And I wanted to be the cool dad. I didn't want to listen to kids songs in the car. And so I put on that Daddy Yankee. And we're rocking out to his #1 hit song, Gasolina. I put it on YouTube on repeat. And after 3 hours into the car ride, I'm in the front seat of the car like, El gusto gasolina! And my kids are in the back seat singing along, Dame más gasolina! And I'm like, Alicante gasolina! And they're in the back, Dame más gasolina! It was the most fun I have ever had on a road trip. And so after many hours of listening to the same song, I got a little bored with it, and so I took it off of repeat and just let it roll over to the next song on YouTube. And after 3 or 4 Spanish club songs, we're dancing, we're having a good time, and I look down at my phone and I see a bunch of half-naked ladies dancing around. And I thought, ooh, this is probably not the best thing for young, impressionable kids to be listening to. So I said, hey, kids, do you know what they're saying? And my oldest goes, yeah, I think so. And I said, well, do you want to translate for me? And he said, well, I think they're playing hide and seek. And I said, oh, hide and seek, why do you say that? And he said, well, he said he's going to take something and put it somewhere she's never looked before. And so after that, I said, all right, we're listening to El Baby Sharko. I was nervous about that one in this crowd. All right, I'm going to end on a couple of toasts. So if you have a beverage, this is also where this comes in. All right, first the Scottish toast. May you live as long as you want, and never want as long as you live. You're here.
Yeah.
And then eggs, toast, milk, and cinnamon. That's a French toast. All right, everyone. Thank you for your time. That's all I got for you tonight.